Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Queen of Automation podcast, where we talk about why technology is only good when it works and how I help you make it work. Today, I have yet another awesome brand built member. His name is Mark Bentcover. And Mark is really cool. We're going to have a fantastic conversation because he is like a lean Six Sigma guy. So he is all about processes, operations, making things streamlined and work and all of this wonderful stuff. So I can't wait to jump in and ask him all sorts of conversations. But he's been doing program management, if that's what we want to call it, for over 15 years with some of the big guys, IBM and different things like that. So he is somebody who has lots of experience in this space, and we're going to have a very exciting conversation about all things geeky and nerdy because that's what I love and near and dear to my heart. So say hello, Mark. Tell everybody where you're tuning in from, and then kind of piggyback off that and tell everybody what exactly you do.
So I'm coming from Cannon Beach. That's why we got beach life if you're watching on video. Yeah, it's a cold day out here, but I just like all things creative. Creative Kraken, that's my nickname. Wearing a t-shirt. Yeah, I'm Creative Kraken. All I got was a t-shirt. But yeah, so you forgot Agile in my introduction, but I figured we'd hit that.
He has the best sense of humor, by the way, everybody.
Well, we'll see. Yeah. Let them be the judge.
Yeah. What I love about your backstory is so amazing. So I want you to tell everybody kind of how you kind of got into all of this, because you've got a lot of experience doing a lot of different things, but it all leads back to what I think is kind of like creative operations and streamlining operations and just making things run better, faster, stronger, simpler if possible.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how far we want to go back, it all started when I wanted to be a rock star. I was in a band in Chicago. We were regionally successful, and we were going to go for it. And then I didn't accept any of the applications to colleges because I thought we said we were going to go for it. We were going to take 2 years to go for it. Well, in July, we were in band practice, and the drummer said, "Hey, Jeff, when are you driving to Purdue?" And I was like, "What?" And then all three other guys were talking about when they're going to, I know. So I didn't accept any. I'm like, so what's going on?
You didn't accept your college applications and they did?
Yeah, what's going on? I go, when were you going to tell me? And they're like, oh, we're going to tell you today. Yeah. So they told me in July and it was a little too late. So I got into late admittance, University of Illinois, Champaign. And none of them, you know how you are when you're planning careers, you're thinking about, well, what am I going to do? I want to be a rock star. So I wasn't even thinking. So I went to University of Illinois, Champaign. And for like 2 or 3 years, I changed my major, I don't know how many times, but a lot. And then in junior status, you apply to the actual college of the university. So here's my thought process, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
It'll show you have to go deep. You have to think really hard. I looked at what the college was best at. They were best at electrical engineering. And so I applied to electrical engineering. Now, what I did not know is that people will go to a university like University of Illinois, Champaign, which is often rated top electrical engineering school in the country, if not the world. And they'll like do their main courses, freshman and sophomore, and then they'll apply and they won't get into engineering and their dreams will be crushed. Here I go, oh, they're the best in engineering. I'll apply. And I got in. So there was a lot of haters out there. Like, you jerk. You didn't even know what engineering was 3 years ago. And I go, you're right.
So they're like,
I did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a bunch of offers. Jerk. And I decided to go to Boeing because my dad really loved jets and he died early in my life. So I went to Boeing and I worked on the military side. And that's when I started working on. So other people think artificial intelligence is a new thing. It's been around like 60 years, as is the precursors to cloud computing, as is the precursors to everything. So unfortunately, I'm a little older. So I was here at the beginning of some of the stuff. I've seen AI go through like 4 waves. And this current wave, I think's the most fun because it's like the internet. So the internet started a long time ago too. And the beginning of the internet was really boring. It's like, well, I thought it was boring. It's university, intellectuals sharing with each other. Well, I did an experiment and I decided this and here's my data. And then government stuff. So that was boring. And then in the 80s, the internet happened and it was a benefit for the rest of us. So to me, this new AI, Chat GPT, DeepSeek, all the good things, and Designer and all that, it's exciting because now real people, I know engineers are real people and intellectuals are real people, but the general population,
say that.
The general population can now use it. So that's exciting.
It
to
is
me.
so funny that you say that. We should create a chart that shows like how old you are in AI years, because I also have gone through probably about 3 iterations of this AI thing,
Yeah.
aging myself. And it's really funny. We could probably create like this age chart, because people think,
exactly.
oh, Chat GPT and AI is new. No. AI has been here for so long. They've just been trying to figure out how to bring it to market in an effective way. We've been using different forms of AI for an extremely long time in digital, in the world of digital and software,
or distributed computing, which is what cloud is,
right? Yeah,
I
right.
mean, I mean, cloud.
And so it's super funny. Everybody's like, oh, this new cool thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, cloud reformatted in, you did Kubernetes and all that weird stuff, and kernels and all that, but a lot of stuff existed. It's just called something different. Now it's more sophisticated and actually more difficult to program and design the infrastructure. But distributing computing's been around a long time.
Yeah.
And I will just say, I've been involved more than 2 decades in less than 10, and we'll leave it at that.
Woo! All right, we'll just leave it at that. You guys can figure out what the napkin math is on that, and we won't go down that road.
No,
so I've got to tell you I've got to ask you. The one thing I do always ask guests when they come on, because usually the guests that I have on are similar to ourselves. We're a little bit older. We've kind of gone through the things, and now we're entrepreneurs and we want to do all these entrepreneurial things. We've seen a lot, right? And we've kind of gone through these iterations of either corporate America or entrepreneurship or whatever. And work-life balance has completely changed, right? It is so different from what it was in my 20s and like what it's supposed to be. Right, like exactly. Thank you. So like, first of all, it doesn't exist, right? Like, because you can't, if we could all clone ourselves, then that'd be great. You'd have a work Megan and a life Megan, and it would be fantastic. But it doesn't work that way. That doesn't exist. There's one person. And so I've always liked to ask this question, and like, how do you feel about work-life balance? What do you think about it? Because every single person I ask has a different answer and a different take on it. And it's really cool to hear all the different variations of answers. I think the best one I've heard to date, actually, you know what? I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to let you answer, because maybe yours is the new best one. No pressure. No pressure.
So to me, everything is up to the person. So, I mean, this isn't politics. This just happens to be a tech billionaire who's messing around in there. But the worst definition of work-life balance is Elon Musk. So I saw a post on LinkedIn where it showed him sleeping in a sleeping bag on the floor, and the person was just like, yeah, if the richest person in the world
can I just say dumbest post ever? Dumbest post ever.
Oh, no, I know. Because my first thought was like, okay, so first of all, if you follow him, which I do, he's a weird guy. Part of me admires some of his stuff, and part of me hates some of his stuff. But he like when he talks about Tesla, he's like, well, we all got to work 90 hours a week and blah, blah. That's the only way when it's successful. And he's in charge of the DOGE. Efficiency. That's not efficient. Anyway, won't go there. So work-life balance is a total personal thing. I'm creative, and I'm a purpose-driven person. So whatever your purpose is, and whatever's going to help you get there, and whatever's important to you, that's how you determine work-life balance. Fortunately, some of us don't have emotional fortitude. Some of us don't have emotional fortitude, and we can't resist that ding, ding, ding. Yeah. So if that's your like phone ring and you're tied to your phone, we have 24/7 access to more information. We have access to more information in 1 second than my grandparents had in a decade. And so the AI to me is just a tool. All technology is just a tool. You have to manage it. You can't let it manage you. Yep. So that's work-life balance. Find your purpose, manage it according to your own, and don't let other people tell you what it is. It is what it is for you. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Does that answer your question?
It's very similar to what I say. Yeah, no, that's fantastic, because it's very similar to what I say. So instead of saying find your purpose, I say you have to build a lifestyle. Right? Like you build your lifestyle for you, and whatever you're doing in work and in personal life and in whatever, just in life in general, the goal is to figure out, you said it, your purpose or your life goal. Like, what is your life goal? What do you want to do in 5 years? Where do you want to be? Like, you want to be on the beach? Do you want to be in the snow? Like, build everything around your purpose, your life goal, and screw the rest. Like, ignore it all, because like none of it matters if it's not going to get you where you want to go. And I think that's great. That the purpose is fantastic, because if you're not purpose driven, what are you doing? Like, are you going to create somebody else's life, somebody else's goal, or go to somebody else's like it's very strange to me reading about that whole work-life balance, right? Like, it doesn't, LinkedIn is crazy all about it, and it's so funny to read all the crap that's out there. I do have to, I'm going to make one comment about the Elon Musk thing, because of course, anybody in the digital world, right, you have to follow him, because you have to. Like, it's just one of those things where you got to see what crazy he's up to this day. And the best comment on that post, because I also saw that post, the best comment on that post, and I do not remember her name, and I wish I did, because I would like high five her right now, shout out, can't remember her name, but she put on there the link to his pods. There's sleeping pods. They're like $3,200 a piece, and he buys them for every single one of his team members to sleep in the office. So he's not sleeping on the floor. Who knows why that picture was taken? Like, there's all these
propaganda.
Like sleeping pods that he buys. Yeah, right. It was so funny. Anyway, so that was the best comment on that post. And she was like, "What, are you kidding me? He's not sleeping on the floor. He's sleeping in his $3,200 or $5,000 sleeping pod." And then, of course, Megan had to go down the rabbit hole and go look at what this pod was, because I wanted to see it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was
cool.
Man, these are cool. Yeah. Where can I buy one?
Yeah. Well, anyway. And he has a lot of cool ideas.
Moving on from that, because he's crazy. Yeah.
You ever watch Fixer Upper? The show Fixer Upper? Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
So it's about this couple, and they run Magnolia. Yeah. So they'll buy a crap house, and then they'll design it.
Yep.
To me,
Chicken Johanna
that's
Gaines
a perfect,
or whatever.
iconic. That's how Elon Musk works. Elon Musk is like the wife. So the husband's Chip. And so they'll get a house, and then they'll show 3 houses to a couple looking for a fixer-upper that looks like a fixer, and they'll pick one. And then Joe, who's the wife, will just have these ideas and design and stuff. And then Chip's dealing with the reality, right? So there'll be a supporting wall. And then in the middle of the design, Joe will say, "I want to take that wall out and make a high ceiling." And Chip will be like, "It's a supporting wall that's going to cost, $20,000. So to me, Joe's like,
you can't do that.
Yeah. So Joe's like Elon Musk. I think he has ideas, but then the engineers that work for him kind of do the magic now. Yeah, he had one good idea way back when, and he got paid really well for it. And he's been using, my opinion, he's been using that for seed money ever since. And he's a great, and I mean this in the best way, he's a great enabler, that he has a lot of money to support smart people to do stuff. And so he has an idea like SpaceX.
That is for sure.
And then he'll go, I'm going to pay for all this, and I'll bring smart people, and we'll make it happen.
He knows how to put the smart people in the room. Yeah.
But then my favorite thing on SpaceX.
This is a really actually good conversation.
Oh, go ahead. Seems like we're delayed.
No, go ahead. SpaceX is great.
So my thing about SpaceX, my favorite. A
little bit of a delay, yeah.
My favorite is Neil deGrasse. I know he has a middle name, but I only call him Neil. You know him, right? He's the astrophysicist. So he was questioned about SpaceX.
Yes.
And apparently he made some comment, and people got all over it, like they trolling and jumping on his case. And he's like, "No, I didn't say I don't like SpaceX. I didn't say I don't like Elon Musk. What I said was, by the time we get to Mars to colonize it, one of the things we'll have to do is learn how to terraform Mars so that people can live on it. And one of the reasons we're going to Mars is we think Earth's a dying planet, and we don't want to die as a human race." And he goes, "If we have to learn to terraform, that means we could terraform on Earth all the parts that are dying and regrow Earth and it's a much shorter trip because we're already here." That's all he said. I'm like going, perfect,
and it would
man.
cost us less money.
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah. Like, but I mean, so you learn how to terraform and then terraform here. We're already here.
This is this is a great segue into that's a great segue into talking about operations from a business standpoint. Here's this person who is simplifying operations by saying, "Hey, if we just take the trip from here to Mars and we do that thing over here, it's going to save us this much, and it's going to be simpler." That's exactly
brilliant.
a good analogy for what operations is.
Yeah.
Operations
That's a brilliant
is
catch.
taking all of the, right? Like it's all the crap that
That's a
people
brilliant
dump
catch.
at you and they dump it all on your lap. Right.
Yeah.
And then the growth hackers and the rev ops people and the operations people have to look at it and go, what the hell is all this crap?
Yeah.
What is all this? And then they make sense of it. That's exactly what it is.
That's a great analogy. I mean, that's what people do with technology. Like a new technology is, and it's like a shiny new toy. Like, ooh,
exactly.
AI. I love AI. Ooh, AI is a great
so excited.
tool.
I'm so excited.
I love AI.
I'm so excited.
But you need to manage it. What are you going to use it for? It's a tool to help you accomplish some goal. Don't use AI just to use it. Did you see the article? I can't remember who.
Thank you for saying that. Don't use AI just to use AI. Don't use automation just to use automation. Don't buy software just because you need to buy software. Oh my God, you need a plan. You put crap in, you get crap out. Like I keep saying this, it's like a broken record. I say this every day. Put crap in, you get crap out. And people are still out there just doing it because they want to be cool, right? Like everybody's doing AI, so I have to do AI too. Kind of. You need to figure out how AI works for your business, and your plan, right? We just talked about this. Like, how does it fit into the master plan? If it doesn't fit yet, then don't go out and use it yet. You can learn about it. I highly want everyone to go. I highly think it's a good thing for everyone to educate themselves and learn the tools and learn how to use it. But that doesn't mean learn it, implement it as fast as possible. Like that's not a good situation unless you have an actual use for it. What a waste of time.
That's my favorite part of technology.
Have it break.
Yeah. That's my favorite part of technology though, is figure out what you're trying to do. And then within the context of your purpose, your goal, what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to solve, whatever. And if there's a technology tool out there to help you solve it, use it. Because I can make a grandiose statement here, but if there's a technology tool that can help you do that things and you manage it, any technology tool kills any other tool out there. If and only, the purpose, the goal, and it can help you do what you need to do.
If it works
That's
for you.
That's when technology is power.
Yes, exactly. What I tell everyone is what I always say, and my team is going to probably listen back to this or listen to this back and roll their eyes at me because I say this all the time. If you can't measure what you're working on, you shouldn't be working on it. That goes for technology. That goes for every single thing you do in life and in business. If there's no success metric, if you can't look at the thing that you're working on and say, this is going to be successful when I get to XYZ, or this will be successful when XYZ happens, or by this date, or whatever it may be, why the heck are you spending time working on it? What's the purpose of working on something if there's no end? Like what do you, you're just working on it to throw shit at the wall to see what happens? Or that sounds not productive at all, ever. Like I guess artists do that, right? Like they pull out their canvas maybe and they want to but they don't really. Like their end goal is to create a painting, right? Or create a piece of art. Like they still have an end goal. I don't know. It's
I think even the best artists have an end goal in mind and it's measurable.
Having this conversation in 2025. Like it's kind of funny to me that you even still have to have that conversation in 2025.
Right.
Wait, you're working on something, but you don't know when it's going to be done or what success looks like? That's weird.
That leads to...
Stop doing that.
Right. I mean, that leads to... Agile is one of my favorite things in the whole world. And people think, Agile is only around technology. It started out that way, but you can actually apply it anywhere. As you can apply Lean, as you can apply Six Sigma, as you can apply program management. But two of my favorite concepts in Agile... I mean, for those that don't know, the end aim of Agile is to continuously deliver and improve the value delivered to the end user, period. That's the goal of Agile. And two of the concepts, like you were talking about, what made me think are definition of done and acceptance criteria. The way you measure the value delivered is you have defined what done looks like. When I do this and it impacts this and the end user can do that, that is success. And everybody on the team knows that's what you're going for. And if you don't deliver that, then you know you didn't do it, which to me is great information. Most people will get a club and either psychologically, physiologically, or emotionally beat themselves up. It's like, no, now you know. You didn't accomplish what you want.
No,
that's awesome information. try again, re-aim, you're good.
What
And then
people
acceptance
realize,
criteria is the flip side.
exactly. Thank you.
So anyway,
I
I
think
like
that
that.
every entrepreneur, every small business owner should lead a development team one time. And the reason is, so I've been working with Agile since my mid-20s because I've been working with IT development teams and application development teams, right? So it's the best methodology for projects ever. I mean, it just works. And what I love about it is those teams that are doing it right, they don't beat themselves up. Like when they fail, I wouldn't even call it
continuous
failure,
improvement.
but that's, ultimately what it is. Failure is a good thing. You learn so much from failing because then you go back and you look at why didn't this work? And then you take that, you tweak it, you learn from it, and you make it 10,000 times better the next time. And you continue to do that. Like failure is the best way to learn. What's great about developers, or the really good ones that are out there, is they're not afraid to fail. They're not afraid to fail while they're building things because for them, it's exciting. That means they just get to go tinker and build more. Well, that didn't work. That's broken. Let's go see what we can, let's stuff some other stuff in there and see if that'll make it work. They love to do that. Every business owner should do that. Continuous education, right? Yep. Okay, fail. That didn't work. Learn from what you did. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. It's not a bad thing. So people are so afraid of failure and they're so afraid of, not understanding things and they're not even willing to try. I would say the people who are out there failing 25 times in a row are more successful than the people who are sitting there not trying anything at all. And they just sit there and they do what they know how to do over and over again. That's not success. I don't know.
Well, and I know the story.
I don't think that's success.
Well, I know the story isn't exact, but the common one that everybody knows, and they don't know exactly, but I'll go with what people think they know. It's kind of like the Mandela effect. But when Edison was designing the incandescent light bulb,
yes,
he failed many times. Now, how many times is not?
Wasn't it 14 times or something like that? It was some crazy
number. Hundreds. It was in the hundreds.
Was it that more? See, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's failing quickly.
And then Edison's kind of like Musk to me because I like a lot what Edison did, but I don't like what Edison did to Tesla. Because Nikola Tesla is one of my favorite historical figures ever. I mean, he was just a genius. But anyway. But so what you were talking about.
Very much so. Very much
my whole life, it's been around even on the creative side. It's been about continuous improvement and program management in one way or another. And program management is just driving to a goal and looking at all these things. Continuous improvement, you can do Six Sigma, you can do Agile, you can do theory of constraints, one of my faves. And Six Sigma, to some degree. I'm not just in Six Sigma, but it's got a very specific purpose. And most people can't do the heavy lifting, so avoid that one. But it's just continuous improvement. And I like continuous delivery too, because you're getting immediate feedback from the end user and customer, who's the one's going to use it, who determines the value. Guess what, business owners? You don't determine the value of what you deliver. Your customers do. And guess what? The more value you deliver, the more money you can charge.
The more money they'll give you. And what's super great is when you are developing Agile and in public. And again, this is just not just development. This is anything. You're building a business in public. You're building creative in public. Doesn't matter. When you're using an Agile methodology, your customers will tell you when it is broken. Trust me. They will absolutely 100% call you, email, text you, DM, and you will know your shit is broken because they have no shame and they for sure will be like, I didn't get my 5-cent off coupon on my, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Right.
E-commerce is one of those big ones where when it's broken and your customers don't get your coupon, man, that is a thing. And they will tell you, I want my $10 coupon, please. My $5 coupon. I didn't get $2 off.
Well, exactly. And when you're running Agile, a lot of people say they're doing Agile, but they're not really. And I just ask them 2 questions, and then how they answer those 2 questions, I know they're doing Agile or not. But what I like about Agile is the roles are clearly defined. And so the product owner, that is their job. Their job is to listen to all the key stakeholders, including customers, end users, and any organization that's going to be impacted by your product or service, even if that impact is just they have to support it or they're the ones that are going to sell it or whatever. Then they're a key stakeholder. but the product owner's got to open up their ears and he'll hear all that stuff and then communicate with the development team so they can prioritize what they're working on. But yeah, I like Agile. That's all there's to say about that.
So what I love to tell people is that because, well, it's funny because people are so, again, it's just another fear. Like they hear Agile and they hear Six Sigma. And so they like people feel like they have to like go out and spend all this money and be certified and stuff. You do not. You could hire a project manager and your project manager could be the owner of your whatever it is. I don't care what it is. You can, your VA, you could make the VA the owner, but please don't do that. But like a project manager, if you hire somebody who has any type of project management experience worth a damn, they're pretty much your owner because they're the ones that are going to talk to you. They're going to talk to the customers. They're going to talk to the stakeholders. They're going to talk to your developer. They're going to talk to your team. They're the person wrangling it all up. And they're the person that's going to say, hey, this isn't going right. They're the ones that are going to say this is broken. They're the ones that are going to say tasks aren't getting done. They're the ones. That's essentially what a project manager does. It's the same thing.
Good ones.
So all of these fancy terms that, yes, good ones. You're right. There are bad ones.
A lot of them.
All these fancy terms that get thrown out there. Yeah. All the fancy terms that get thrown out. Stop worrying about what the words, like stop worrying about the words that people are using. Like it doesn't have to be that specific words. You don't even have to use Agile if you don't want to. Just go read about it, figure out what it does. Call it whatever you want. Call it monkey business. I don't care what you call it. Like it doesn't, the term is not the thing that is the point to this entire conversation.
Right.
Like, it's not the term that makes the process work.
Well, and that's analogous to what we previously said about technology. So as long as you find it, the technological or other tool or method that will accomplish your goal, that is the aim, not the tool. And so the project management or Agile, whatever, as long as you accomplish delivering product or service of value, that is the aim, and do whatever you're comfortable getting there. Yeah. But a lot of people also, on the flip side, I think as many people are guilty of what you said that think that's the only way to do it, and they're successful. But then there's the other ones that they're like the Trojan horse. And not the viral Trojan horse. I'm talking about the historical Trojan horse. They're like, they have a Trojan horse, but it's not a Trojan horse. It's Agile. And they're all inside. We're doing Agile. Well, no, you're not. They like get caught up in the words they think it gives them status or authority or a qualification, and it doesn't. So anyway, and that's all.
Exactly. So many times I wish that we could get rid of. I wish that we could get rid of all of the terms sometimes, right? Like all of the different terms for all of the different things. I wish we could just wash them all away because people get hung up on the term or the word or the phrase, but don't actually know what it means and don't take the time to learn what it means. Because the word doesn't mean shit. The word is nothing. It's the thing that you're doing in the process that you're using, like all of the stuff behind the scenes, the stuff and physical things that you're actually doing. That's what matters. The word means shit. It doesn't mean anything. It's a fancy thing that you go pay a bunch of money for, but unless you actually put it into place, it doesn't mean anything. Anyway, I think it's crazy.
In fact, it could actually turn people off.
I would love for you to tell people, yes, 100%. I want you to tell people what you are working on now, how they can find you, where they can come talk to you, because you've got such great content out on LinkedIn, and we're all obsessed with LinkedIn on this podcast, so whatever, we're crazy. But please tell everybody where they can find you, how they can contact you, and what you're working on like right now. What's like really exciting you right now, and what are you working on these days?
So how they can contact me, I suggest just DMing me on LinkedIn, or I have a website.
LinkedIn link in the show notes too, so they can find you.
Yeah. And then I have several websites, but the most active one is markbentcover.com. But that's focused on my Creative Kraken stuff. But you can still, if you want to set up a meeting, if you go on that page, you can my Calendly is connected to that. So you can connect on that if you want. So what I'm working on.
Nice.
So to pay the rent.
Talk about Creative Kraken.
Oh, I will in a sec, yeah. So what I'm working on to pay the rent is I'm working for it's called Skill Up Technology. So what we're doing is we're designing a professional certificate course for product owners. But like Megan said before, you don't have to be certified. To me, I do certification backwards. So I don't get a certification to get a certification. I do have certifications. I am a Six Sigma Master Black Belt, even though I can't say it. I am a certified lean practitioner. I am a certified project manager, but I did not get any of those prior to doing thousands and thousands of hours of work in that specialty. And then I got the certification later, just kind of to open the door. And what that does is it opens the door so then I could talk about my experience and show my authority and my discipline around that subject. So that's one I'm working on, that product owner project professional certificate. It's on Coursera, and it's also an internal course in IBM. But what I'm most excited about is, well, Creative Kraken. But Creative Kraken, due to the advice of one of our fearless leaders, will be kind of a side fun thing. But I kind of am the Creative Kraken. And what it is
brand built.
Yeah, exactly. Darren Moss. And then actually, just as a callback. So when we're talking about purpose, so I loved Nat Berman's post probably a couple of months ago, and it just hit right on, and it confirms what I believe around purpose. It's like everybody is born with a purpose. It's up to you to discover, uncover, or recover. And all that is getting your crap out of the way so you can see your purpose, so you can feel it. We all know it. We are a divining rod for our purpose, and we can feel it if we allow ourselves to. But you got to get out of your own way, basically. So the other thing, the three things
he's so good at that
course. Then Creative Kraken, I have a podcast. It's all about creative. So I believe this guy, Robert Fritz, if you don't know who he is, look him up. The guy's amazing. So he was a musician, composer, teacher at Columbia. And then he was asked to design a course for composing music at Columbia. I think it was Columbia. And then what he noticed was his second or third semester he was teaching it, he noticed people that were in his class were showing up, like students he didn't recognize. And he's like, hey, what's going on here? And basically what they said is, what you're teaching your music students, majors, how to compose, you're basically teaching how to create something from nothing. So I'm in business. I want to create stuff. Might not be in music, but your stuff works there. And so then he created this company called DMA, and then he wrote a bunch of books on it. My favorite being Path of Least Resistance. Anyway, so that's where Creative Kraken came from. And so my belief is, too many of us live in the reactive responsive world. And there's two worlds. You can live reactive responsive, which mainly makes you like a cork in the ocean. Whichever way the waves go, that's the way you go too. So you're just reacting and responding to everything. Well, we've been talking about this whole cast and what technology can help you do, and all these things and Agile gets you there. And whatever tools you use, you can take your purpose and be purpose driven and do the creative process, So that's Creative Kraken's all about. And the podcast is actually about that. I bring business leaders wherever they're from. Like, I'd like to have you as a guest and go, how do you see creativity in creating success in your life? How have you done that? We just talk about that. Then the third thing, I'm taking my skills, going on the road, is Darren has me doing a tagline. I'm kind of getting a feel for it. I meet with him next week, but I got to get a feel for it in the past couple of weeks. You may have seen it on my post if you follow me at all. But I'm like, Mark Bentcover, Agile, Lean, and Program Management at your service. So I'm trying to leverage those three things to help individuals and companies do it. Like, they can't afford
I love it. I think it's great.
Full time to do that. I can come in and help you do that. So that's what I'm focused on. It's kind of a consultant, coach, man, whatever, a hired gun to come in and help you. I'll train, I'll coach, I'll help you work your strategy, all that good stuff.
A hired gun.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, that is awesome. Mark, I'm so happy that you jumped on with us today, because it's been an exciting, I was like waiting. I'm like, ooh, this is going to be a good conversation, because I knew that we had a lot of overlap in our past, like, corporate experiences. So this is very cool. And I'm so thankful that you came on. So we're going to drop all of the contact information in the show notes so people can reach out. Okay. I highly encourage everybody to go follow Mark on LinkedIn, because his content is fantastic. And remember, everybody, technology is only good when it works. And we will see you next week. Thank you again, Mark. Bye.